For this video, Cypher, what the last 24 hours of death row prisoners look like. This one kind of caught my eyes, pretty interesting. I think it would be, at least, last day of a death row. Because, I mean, I know you gotta, request the food, they eat their food, right, whatever. Then what? You know? Let's see. Oh,
It's
what up?
December 18th.
I didn't double check my audio, sorry. Let me do it again. Why not? Why not? Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. So we got Cypher. What the last 24 hours of death row prisoners look like. Yeah, I've been wondering, what goes on
It's
there.
December 18th, 2024. In the
I know some type of food is involved in it though.
Oklahoma State Penitentiary, a guard approaches one of the 200 cells in death row and finds a prisoner inside sitting on the edge of his bed. It's 10 a.m. Kevin Ray Underwood has 24 hours left to live. Not every state in the U.S. allows or uses the death penalty. The ones that do all have different execution protocols. But generally speaking, the timeline of events is similar, with slight differences in the details. These protocols can take months of preparation. Also that the day of execution is, well, perfectly executed.
I don't know why it takes months though. Like, what's so crazy about taking months to actually fully be done? Like, you set up an audience, people set up the correct date for everybody to show up or whatever, get the right food, and then you just get that room ready. I don't know, we'll see. I mean, that's why we're watching the video to see what actually goes on in that time span.
This is what happens in the last 24 hours on death row.
Cypher.
Kevin Ray Underwood is a death row inmate at Oklahoma State Penitentiary. 34 days ago, he was strip searched and x-rayed for any tools with which he could hurt himself, and then relocated from the prison's A unit to its H unit. The execution protocol typically begins like this: relocating a prisoner from his usual cell to another location with an execution chamber. Among prison guards, they call it the death house.
So there's a lot of people in there now. That's a, fucking solid big box. So you gotta expect there to be a lot of death row inmates in there. Oh my god. That looks like fucking hell.
In most states, the relocation happens around 24 hours before the execution, and not all prisons have execution chambers. If this is the case,
so it's just a huge chamber with like nobody in it then. Because if it just, you get moved in there a day before, I think it said. So nobody's in there. It's just an empty chamber.
The prisoner gets
building
taken to one. This is the most vulnerable moment of the execution protocol. Some prisons send decoy transports through different routes to prevent an ambush, although it has never happened. When they reach their destination, the inmate steps out of the vehicle. This is the last time they see sunlight and breathe fresh air. Now the prisoner gets escorted into the death house and is taken into a cell just a few steps away from the execution chamber. It has a bed, a shower, a toilet, and a desk, much like a regular cell except clean. For a prison, it's a true luxury.
It's a solid prison.
In Underwood's case, it is far from it. Amnesty International described the conditions at Oklahoma State Penitentiary's H unit as inhuman and degrading, comparing the cells to
yeah, buddy, it's your last day. Even though you get like food or whatever, you're still in jail. You're still in prison, so of course it's gonna be cruel and inhuman and whatnot. You can't expect it to be a luxury like other states, because other states they get like whole fucking houses or like insanely clean rooms and whatnot. They can just go in and out of prison and whatnot. It's fucking insane.
Concrete tombs. For his last 24 hours,
Or not
Underwood
other states, but other countries too and whatever.
is on death watch. A guard watches his every move, not to prevent him from escaping.
Wait, I don't get it though. How many people are in there? If you get put into the last day before you get executed, why is he walking around the whole cell? He just needs to stand and stare into in his cell for his fucking shift. You know, if he's the only one there, just stand out there, stare at him. Just you know, for his whole shift, and then you're good. Stop out.
But from harming himself. Underwood is not allowed to leave his cell, so around noon the guards bring breakfast directly to him. It's a small meal from the prison kitchen and something to drink. Nothing special, for now. After breakfast, if they wish, inmates can receive visitations from friends, family, lawyers, and the press. Some states allow highly supervised
Lawyers? What do you mean lawyers? It's your last day alive. How do you have a lawyer?
contact visits. Others let them speak to visitors through a glass partition. In Oklahoma, Underwood is only allowed no-contact visitations on the days leading up to his execution. When visitation hours end, prisoners can only speak with the prison warden and a chaplain. For many, this time can be overwhelming and traumatic.
Yeah.
The chaplain's
Definitely.
job is to prepare the inmates for what's coming next. It's common for their religions to differ, but the chaplain's job is to be a prisoner's unbiased spiritual advisor. He might help them write letters, pray, or even sing with them. Mostly, he's just there to listen and keep company.
He's got to be such a shitty job for, wasn't chaplain? You go in there knowing that the guy's going to die the next day. Like, you're spending their last moments with you. And they're like talking, maybe singing, just praying and whatnot. Like, it sounds such a shitty job for a chaplain.
But for many
Like fucking nightmares or like depression kind of stuff.
inmates, it is not easy to come to terms with the fact that they will never speak to their loved ones again. That their life is already over.
I mean, yeah, but you shouldn't have done what you did.
The sun is down, and they have barely 12 hours left to live. The night before Underwood's execution, it's time for the infamous last meal, which he requested around a month ago. Death row inmates in the U.S. spend on average just under 19 years in prison before their execution. This last meal is likely their first time choosing what to eat in decades. It's a symbolic gesture to acknowledge their humanity, a final taste of freedom. Movies often show prisons go
In a way, it's the most cruelest thing you can do, even though it shows that, you're human. You get to choose something. That's also could be one of the most cruelest fucking things. Here's a taste of something you'll never have again, and something you could have been having if you didn't make your choice. I feel like it's a crazy thing to let them have. But I mean, in a way, it's a good thing, of course. I definitely would like a a meal of whatever I want. But yeah, that's fucking insane.
going above
Good and bad. You know, it depends on the person.
and beyond to fulfill an inmate's every request, usually a luxurious delicacy. But this is far from reality. In Texas, the last
So just gets fucking McDonald's, KFC.
meal request was abolished after one prisoner requested a large, expensive meal and didn't eat it. Since then,
Wow, that fucking one prisoner ruined it for all of them, dude. Yo, I want this. This doesn't eat it. Holy fuck, bro. I'd be pissed at that dude, man. You fucking ruined my last meal. I could have a fucking filet mignon, dude. Now they're serving me chicken and bread.
death row inmates have received standard
Holy fuck.
issue prison food instead. In most states, the last meal is given a day or two before the execution and called a special meal instead. Alcohol and tobacco are not usually on the menu, but for the meal, most state policies say prisons must make a reasonable effort to fulfill the prisoner's request. However, there are strict limits on what they can order. California gives inmates a $50 budget for their last meal.
Oh wow,
Florida
that's
gives
it? I was gonna say that's a lot, but yeah, man, you can get like a whole McDonald's meal, maybe some other stuff, right? $50 is quite a bit for just you to eat alone.
them $40, and the food must be available locally. In Oklahoma, Underwood's last meal has a maximum budget of just $25.
I'd be fucking punching walls, bro. Like the state over there gets 50, and you're telling me I get 25 bucks? Oh the fuck, crashing out, crashing out. But I mean, at the same time, McDonald's. Just get some fucking McDonald's. You know, you can't go wrong with McDonald's. I love McDonald's, man. Fucking wonderful food. Just get a large meal. That come out to what, 14 or whatever. I haven't had it in a while, but I do love McDonald's. Large meal, fucking desserts. I don't know what kind of desserts. Then like a shake, some ice cream, apple pie maybe. What kind of desserts do they have? What the fuck? What desserts do they have? Cookies? Yeah, cookies. Yeah. 25 bucks instead of the 50 that other places get is fucking insane.
We were not able to confirm his specific request on time, but you can likely find it by searching for his name on Wikipedia's last meal page. After
What, they didn't find it? What do you mean?
Find it by searching for his name on Wikipedia's last meal.
What? What do you mean? How did they not find it? But they said the exact page you can find it. Okay.
Page. After the last meal, Underwood is allowed to sleep.
Underwood, that's the thing. Yeah, he's not there. Okay.
After the last meal, Underwood is allowed to sleep.
Wait. Oh my god, those meals are insane, dude. French fried butterfly jumbo prawns with cocktail sauce, one order of ravioli tossed green salad mainly composed of romaine lettuce with vinegar and oil dressing, chocolate cake, and a pack of Salem cigarettes. You can just request cigarettes? Well, I mean, that was in 1957, so he got the fucking gas chamber treatment. Holy fuck, buddy, you're fucked. Oh my god, 2023, 1948, 1960. Oh my god, hanging. Everybody's getting hanging up there. Hanging. Holy shit. Chicken rice, nasi biryani, ice cream, soda, Milo flavored sweets, and a bowl of wonton noodles. Ooh, excuse me. Rice, miso soup, and grilled fish. That's all he got? Fuck, bro. Steak, potatoes, vegetables, and pie. Fire. Buffalo steak, fried bread. Kentucky Fried Chicken, sugar-free pecan pie, sugar-free black walnut ice cream, and whole milk. He let the ice cream thaw out for an hour and turned it into a milkshake by hand. Buddy, just get milkshakes. Like, what are you doing? Why did you have to wait for it to thaw out to make it a milkshake? Just get a milkshake. Like, oh, that's lethal injection. Murder. Japanese war crimes. Drug trafficking. He got hanging for drug trafficking. Who is this fucking guy? That was 2023. That's insane. 2026, 02, 05, 96. Lethal injections a lot down there. 2 grilled cheese sandwiches, fire. 1 pint of cottage cheese and a hominy corn mixture. Radishes. 1 slice. Holy fuck. 1 slice of peach pie and 1 pint of chocolate chip ice cream. Okay. He refused a special meal and had a regular Prison fare of chili and macaroni, salad, and cake. Okay, understandable, understandable, but also not. Like, buddy, you could have anything. You could have fucking any special meal. I wonder if he regretted it or not. You know, you gotta wonder. But yeah, I also understand why he did refuse. Cause I would probably fucking cry. Like I get my meal and I fucking cry because I never have that shit again or something that good again. Two pepperoni and sausage pizzas, 3 servings of chocolate ice cream, and a 3 6 pack of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Wow, crazy.
Meal page. After the last meal, Underwood is allowed to sleep. The chaplain stays behind to offer his help, because many inmates remain awake throughout the night,
Right.
writing letters or just in silence. Tomorrow is an important day, and it is just overwhelming to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
On the day of execution, the guards wake Underwood up at around 4:30 a.m. He is given 15 minutes to shower and issued a new uniform. In some states, it may have a few extra buttons and maybe a different color. In most, the uniform is identical to the one before, except clean. However, every state gives the inmate an adult diaper. Death causes people
Makes
to lose
sense.
control of their muscles. If they are not empty, the inmate's bowels and bladder can release their contents and cause a big, stinky mess. The diaper is a precautionary measure to keep things clean and preserve the inmate's dignity in their final moments. Now, the warden gives Underwood a summary of what's about to happen, and then leaves to make sure all the preparations are in order. In the nearby execution chamber, a team of
Oh, is he getting injected? I think that's what the thing is gonna be.
medical experts has been reviewing the execution protocol, testing equipment, and double-checking supplies throughout the night.
Yeah.
Nothing can go wrong. Back in the cell, the chaplain is keeping Underwood company in his last few hours. Depending on a prisoner's religion, they might want to make a final confession, say some prayers, or just have a conversation. It's also an opportunity to think about or write down their last words. With 2 hours remaining, Underwood's friends and relatives, his victim's family, lawyers, some regular citizens, and the press will arrive at the prison to witness
Yo,
his
what?
execution.
There's some random citizens going in there just to watch him die. What the fuck? How did they let that happen? Like, why is that even an option? You just show up to a jail like, yo, I want to watch someone die today. Like, what? There's some fucking random citizens going in there. It's crazy. It's actually fucking insane.
The warden will meet them at the entrance and escort them to a witness room. In Illinois, the inmate's family can only witness the execution through a television screen. But in most states, the witness room is adjacent to the execution chamber.
Right, I thought they always had just a window. Fucking TV is insane.
Separated by see-through glass or a one-way mirror, in which case you can only see into the room, but not out. For now, the glass is covered by a curtain, and the warden asks the witnesses to remain in complete silence, especially if the inmate and victim's families are in the same room. Fights can break out.
I don't understand why fights would break out though. It's not really their fault. I mean, they did raise him to be a shit person, sure. But like that, there's also a point where you don't have control of that anymore. So it's not like they caused him to die.
1 hour until the execution, the warden walks back to Underwood's cell and tells him exactly what the next steps are. Once he signals to the guards, they handcuff Underwood and lead him out of the cell. Like most death row inmates, Underwood does not give the guards any trouble during the short walk to the execution chamber. He walks right in, and the door shuts behind him. There is no going back now.
I mean, I understand why you wouldn't give them a problem, but you're gonna die anyways. So at least, you know, I figured most people would try. You know, I mean, I understand why he didn't, like I said. And I understand why most people don't, but there's so many people out there that do try to struggle a lot. It's your last day, and you could do whatever you can to try and escape, because you're gonna die anyways. So you're like, why not?
Executions should be as painless as possible for the prisoner. Among the legal methods of execution in the US, hanging is the most painful, followed by gassing, electrocution, shooting, and lethal injection. Lethal injection became the default execution method in the US in the early 80s. Electrocution was common before that. Today, some states allow prisoners to choose their execution method, with some
That's insane.
restrictions. In Utah, inmates who were sentenced before 2004
I'm
can
gonna be honest, I probably just want to get shot. You know, I think that'd be the best, quickest, easiest, for the most part, at least. But I mean, I wouldn't be intact, of course, if I got shot. So, who knows? I just picked the most least painful one.
choose to be executed by a firing squad if the drugs for lethal injection are not available. Tennessee has a similar policy for electrocution. Alabama used nitrogen hypoxia gas for 2 executions in 2024. Underwood will be executed by lethal injection. There are multiple people inside the execution chamber when Underwood enters, but the first thing he notices is the stretcher in the middle, known as a gurney. It is imposing in such a tiny room. There is also an electrocardiogram, a telephone on the wall, and a curtain separating the execution chamber from the witness room. Underwood lies down on the gurney, and a tie-down team straps his arms, legs, and torso tightly. The nurses also hook him up to the electrocardiogram, which monitors his heartbeat. To prepare for the lethal injection, an IV team looks for 2 veins in each of his arms. If Underwood is under high amounts of stress, his veins can hide, making the process longer, more painful, or
it's gotta take for fucking ever for them to find the veins in. And insanely painful too, dude, because there's no way none of them are fucking stressed.
even impossible. But this is extremely rare. Once the IV team finds
Rare? Buddy, how none of them fucking stressed? You wanna go to once?
the veins, they rub alcohol or iodine on the injection spot and insert 2 intravenous tubes.
Yeah.
One of these is meant to deliver Underwood's final dose. The other is there in case the first one malfunctions.
Huh.
The tubes lead to a small opening in the execution room's wall, opposite an observation room. An executioner is on the other side. To test the tubes, the IV
Isn't that
team
insane? Back in the day, executioners used to just chop heads off, and now they just press a button. It's insane.
pumps a harmless solution into Underwood's veins. Everything checks out. With 15 minutes until his execution, Underwood is staring at the phone on the wall. At any moment, the warden could receive a call from the governor's office, letting him know that Underwood has been granted a stay of execution. If important new evidence about his case is found or the courts approve a
Damn.
last-minute appeal, the execution could be
I
delayed.
don't understand it though. Like, why wouldn't they fully do a thing before doing an execution? It doesn't make any sense.
If his sentence is suddenly changed to life in prison,
But yeah, I knew that happens sometimes where they call during an execution to postpone it because new evidence and whatnot.
it could be canceled altogether. The telephone is Underwood's only hope.
Yeah.
But for now, the nurses point him towards the curtain, and the warden pulls it up. On the other side, the witnesses see Underwood for the first time. He can see them too. Death row prisoners have the option to make a final statement. The warden brings a microphone close to Underwood's face. He will remove it if his statement is too long, vulgar, or intentionally insulting to a witness. He can also choose to say nothing, and many death row inmates do. After his statement is over, Underwood turns his head to face the telephone again. It never rings.
Damn.
The warden looks up from his watch, removes his glasses, and gives a slight nod towards the observation room. The executioner recognizes the signal. It's time.
Where is he?
On the executioner's wall, there is a medication delivery device known as a manifold. Attached to it are 3 groups of large syringes that contain up to 60 milliliters of fluid. A typical COVID vaccine has anywhere between 1 and 5 milliliters. The leftmost syringe of each group contains a harmless saline solution. It's essential for flushing the drugs in the other syringes through the IV tubes and Underwood's bloodstream. Each group contains a different drug, an anesthetic, a paralyzing agent, and
Oh,
a
wow.
toxin, one for each stage
So you
of
go
the
right to
execution.
left then, no?
After the warden's signal, the executioner approaches the manifold and pushes out the contents of the green syringes and flushes them with the saline solution.
That's pretty cool, though,
These
no?
syringes contain midazolam, a powerful anesthetic commonly used before surgeries. The National Institutes of Health says that 2.5 milligrams of midazolam injected intravenously is enough to sedate any healthy adult under 60. Right now, around 500 milligrams of it is coursing through Underwood's blood. It's 200 times the recommended dose. Such a large dose of midazolam can spill over into Underwood's lungs and make him feel like he is drowning. Not
What?
exactly humane, but the dose is also so
Yeah, I
large
feel
that
like-
he's
The way I would want to die, you know, if it's in this situation, put me to sleep and then pump that stuff to me, you know? Like, you can gas, you know, sleeping gas, so I'll fall asleep. Like, why do I need to stay awake for this, you know? Put me to sleep, then kill me.
likely rendered totally unconscious before he can feel this. Midazolam makes the brain flood its neurons with chloride ions, making them unable to fire electrical signals. Within a minute or two, Underwood's brain has effectively shut down, making the next 2 stages of his execution technically painless. Now the executioner moves on to the orange syringes. They contain vecuronium bromide, a kind of muscle relaxant. According to the NIH, someone who weighs 150 pounds, around 68 kilos, would be completely paralyzed for half an hour with just around 6 milligrams of vecuronium bromide. Underwood's dose is 100 milligrams.
Oh,
In around 90 seconds, the vecuronium bromide binds to the receptors in his muscle cells, blocking the signals that normally trigger muscle contractions. This paralyzes all his voluntary muscles, including the diaphragm, the muscle responsible for breathing.
wow.
At this point, Underwood
It's
would
terrible.
die of asphyxiation in around 4 to 6 minutes. But instead, the executioner moves on to the final stage of the execution. The syringes with red labels contain potassium chloride. A regular dose of around 1.5 grams, spaced out over an hour, is an effective way to compensate for low levels of electrolytes in the blood. But at 18 grams, right into the bloodstream, delivered instantly, potassium chloride becomes a deadly toxin. Once this extremely high dose of potassium reaches Underwood's heart, it produces an incomprehensible amount of electrical activity. For a few moments, his heart beats irregularly, lightning fast, and then stops altogether, sending him into immediate cardiac arrest. The electrocardiogram in the execution chamber flatlines. The IV team checks for vital signs, and the warden closes the curtain to the observation room. Underwood
Wow.
passed away within just 30 seconds of the potassium chloride touching his blood. The exact time of day when executions take place in the U.S. varies, but in the H Unit of Oklahoma State Penitentiary, Kevin Ray Underwood will be pronounced deceased around 10 a.m. on December 19th, 2024, the day
2024.
of his 45th birthday.
What? He dies on his birthday?
Depending on when you're watching, this could be a few minutes from now, or years ago.
What?
As of
October.
October 2nd, 2024, 1,601 prisoners have been executed since the death penalty's reinstatement. And
Wow.
there are 2,213 prisoners
Wow.
still waiting on death row. Kevin
Holy
Ray
fuck.
Underwood was the last person to be executed in the United States in 2024. He was sentenced to death in 2008 for the first-degree murder of a 10-year-old girl. Her name was Jamie Rose Bolin.
Wow. A fucking loser, buddy.
Are you a planner? Are you a guy that likes to plan?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I certainly planned this out. I mean, I've been thinking about it for...
Guy's been planning killing a, what do you say, 10, 13? One of those year-old girl once.
At first, I just wanted to basically to eat someone, and then it turned...
Underwood's trial lasted
Buddy planned to eat her?
barely a few hours. Nobody doubted whether he was guilty.
And I was going to keep the body around for a couple of days. I was going to...
Underwood's lawyers did not dispute his guilt, but since he was never properly treated for his multiple severe mental illnesses, they argued he should not be sentenced to death.
What did she say when you hit her?
That's something that's, haunted me ever since it happened.
What Underwood did was wrong beyond description.
She started yelling, "I'm sorry." Which, I'm just like, what is she sorry for? She didn't do anything wrong. It's me, I'm the one that should be sorry.
What? Bro, even though he was in the wrong, he still did it. He's like, no, I'm the one that should apologize, not you. I'm the one that's gonna kill you. I'm sorry for killing you and I'm about to eat you.
Perhaps you believe he no longer deserves his life.
No, I know what I did was wrong, and I know that I deserve to be punished for it.
But do we as a society deserve to take it?
People fucking amaze me. People fucking amaze me, dude. They know they're doing something wrong, but they still do it. It's fucking... doesn't make any sense. But that was it. Cypher, what the last 24 hours of death row prisoners look like. Amazing video, man.